I've gotten a lot of really great comments lately, but I have not had a chance to respond to them because I've been in the middle of a move and just burnt out a bit. But I'm finally trying to get back into making my videos again. And this one really stood out to me because I think it highlights a problem in our industry. And I am not here to single out or call out this person. I'm very grateful that they brought up this question, but I think it kind of shows why we have a problem with a lack of professionalism, with people both from the client side and the professional side getting themselves into unsafe situations. So I'm gonna break down this comment and address it. So this is a two-part comment, so I'm gonna read the full thing here. It says, I don't have any training, but want to start offering sessions on Cuddle Comfort. Can't really afford the training right now, but I am a massage therapist and used to doing client intakes. Would you have any tips for me on how to be professional, confident, and direct in a session for my first time? I'm nervous. And I did comment here that Cuddle Sanctuary offers a free safety course, but I did want to expand upon this response. So I think that there is this common undervaluing of cuddle therapy education because people just think that cuddling is something that's so innate that we all do naturally, and that it shouldn't require training. And I remember even when Cuddleist training was only $150, it's now $800 for non-members, and I think it's $400 for members. But even then at like $150, people were saying, oh, it's a scam. And by the way, while I am a Cuddleist member, I do not work for Cuddleist. They are not paying me to promote them. I just tend to suggest Cuddleist a lot because it's the only Cuddle platform that has training and gives you a virtual storefront to advertise your services. Other Cuddle sites don't provide training, and there are Cuddle trainings that don't really have a lot of marketing. There is Cuddle Sanctuary, but they are very West Coast and regional based, and Cuddleist is nationwide. So that's why I tend to bring them up the most, and they're actually more affordable than the other Cuddle trainings I've taken as well, and I think they're a good starting place. So that's why I bring it up. It's not because I have anything to gain from talking about them, so I just want to put that out there. But doesn't matter what the training is. It seems like people are outraged or think it's a scam, or they rather get started and then invest in training. And as somebody who, like this commenter mentioned, started on Cuddle Comfort with no training, if I had a time machine, I would 100% have invested in the Cuddleist training. Even if that meant I had to go into debt, I would have done it. And I have gone into debt for several Cuddle trainings. I'll put them on a 0 interest credit card and pay them off over time, and they are very much worth it. I would say it was a huge turning point for me when I started connecting with more experienced Cuddle therapists and getting advice for them, and then I took the trainings, and that was sort of when I had that shift from like, this is some quick cash right now while I'm young, to like, this is gonna be my career, this is my life's purpose. It was learning, getting the education, talking to people who are more experienced than me that really got me to take this work seriously. And I sometimes just think how much better it could have been, how many mistakes I could have avoided, how I would have had more time to cultivate a better client base if I had done things right from the beginning. And obviously we're all human, we're gonna make mistakes. I still make mistakes to this day. I'm sure I would have had if I'd started out with training, but I think I would have made a lot fewer mistakes. I would say the majority of the people I worked with my first year of cuddling, I don't see anymore. There are a few exceptions to that rule, but the purpose that my OG clients had, they were mainly looking for dopamine, instant gratification. They wanted a pretty body pillow, And what I do now is so much more than just being a body pillow for people. I offer a lot more in terms of emotional support. I'm more present with my clients, and I really focus on service and helping them, where before I think my attitude was, and I hate to admit this, but my attitude definitely was that I was like gracing them with my presence because I was very much objectified back then. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, they're just lucky to be around me. So both ways, it was not a healthy relationship. And I definitely had to deal with a lot of boundary pushing, a lot of grooming, a lot of gaslighting. It was not a fun time. So if you want good, respectful clients that are there to better themselves and work on themselves, you want to get the training, because that is what will attract them, and that will give you the skills to support them in the way that they need and add value to their lives. Being a pretty body pillow is not sustainable, and it is exhausting. Don't do it. But with that said, I did want to mention my playlist. If you go to my profile, TikTok finally let me make playlists. I do have a safety tips playlist on there, so check that out if you want some tips on how to stay safe in sessions. With that being said, I do want to talk a bit about Cuddle Comfort. While I don't suggest people start there, I also get it because you know, there's a lot of people on that platform. It's a very large Cuddle platform, and unfortunately there just aren't a lot of Cuddle platforms, and I would say other than Cuddleist, it is probably the best one around. I'd say other than Cuddle Comfort and Cuddleist, it's pretty much just sex work. There's very little like legitimate cuddle therapy happening. But even on Cuddle Comfort, I've just been, the past few days, past week, I've been spending a little bit more time there. I've had a little bit of a lull in business lately, so if you're a client and you're watching this, please book a session with me. I've had a little lull in there, and there's a thing on Cuddle Comfort where you can see who visited your page, and as a professional you are allowed to reach out to page visitors. And I've had a few run-ins just in the last few days with people that were looking for somebody with flexible boundaries, or someone who offered sex work, or you know, they complained that I was too expensive. So I'd say the majority of clients on there are not going to be the best clients. They're looking for sex work, they're looking for someone who's cheap, and I don't do either of that. I'm not cheap, I'm not a sex worker. It's, you know, on occasion someone will reach out to me on there because they're looking for a legitimate professional, and I really stand out in that way, and they can value and appreciate that, but they're not super common on Cuddle Comfort. I'm much more likely to get quality clients through my website, my Google business page, social media, Cuddleist. I get a lot more business from there than from Cuddle Comfort these days. So when you are thinking about starting your Cuddle practice, I would definitely look at multiple avenues of advertising. Cuddle Comfort can be a good place to get your start. I think Cuddleist is also a good place. But be very careful on Cuddle Comfort, and honestly any Cuddle platform, because not everyone is there for legitimate Cuddle therapy. So like and follow for more Cuddle content. Be careful out there, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, quick thing I just forgot to mention is, you mentioned that you can't afford training right now, and I get it, because literally when I started, I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent, and I think a lot of people start off in a financially compromised situation. That does leave you more vulnerable to financial coercion, bribery, just it clouds your judgment when screening clients. So my best advice is to check in with yourself when you start out in your Cuddle career, and make sure that you are not letting your financial needs influence your choices. And if you need to get a secondary source of income to supplement it, I know this commenter already has a job, but for anyone watching, it might not be a bad idea to have a secondary source of income so you are not making bad decisions in this line of work. All right, this is it. Like and follow for more Cuddle content.